Welcome to another episode coming at you from ChooseYourRelationships.com, author of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. Yeah. Come on to talk about why women are so unhappy in the United States of America. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I rarely talk about women. I don't talk about women very much. And the reason why that is because I believe the better us men become, the better we become as men, women will fall in line. The more standards us guys have, women will have to make a decision and step their game up. That's what I believe. And that's what I've seen over the past damn near all my life. I've seen some women, they talk that talk, or they talk that tough talk. But these are the same women, whenever they meet or come in contact with the right guy, they throw all that tough talk out of the window. This is why I don't necessarily focus on what women are doing or what they say they're going to do. I focus on what I'm going to do, what we are going to do. We can talk about women all day long until the cows come home. But until enough of us men put ourselves in positions to live a better life, women are going to continue to do what they do. This is why we have to have standards. We have to have rules, our rules, not their rules, not society's rules, not your parents' rules, not your grandmother's rules, or not your grandpa's rules. You got to have your own rules. You got to do what works for you, and only you. You got to stop seeking validation. I know it might be a little difficult for some guys because once they start hanging around attractive women, they just lose all train of thought. They start doing all kinds of crazy stuff out of their character. So I know it can be a little difficult for some guys, especially if they're not used to being around attractive women all the time. If you aren't used to being around attractive women all the time, you might have some difficulty with this. But here's the deal. You have to get used to being around attractive women. And over time, it's going to become like normal. it's going to be like, it's going to feel like, hey, this is the way. This is how it's supposed to be. Which I totally agree. %. I totally agree. But it's never going to happen as long as you're doing what someone else wants you to do, or you're trying to live someone else's dream and not yours. You're doing what you're told. You're doing what's been passed down to you. And when it doesn't work out, now you're upset. Don't understand why it didn't work out. Reason why things didn't work out for you, because the advice or concepts or whoever told you to do whatever, it wasn't for you. Everything is not for everybody. This is why I always say you got to test things out. You can't assume that everything someone tells you is going to automatically work for you. It doesn't work out like that. Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, okay, it might work in a perfect world, but in the real world, things don't work out like that. It just doesn't, you know? It just doesn't work out like that. You know? It's like I have my own philosophy. Always, you probably heard me say this phrase many times. I always say, "My life, my game, my show." And what that really means is, I have to do what works for me, especially at this point. You know, so if I meet anybody, whenever I meet women, and if they say they want to be a part of my life, you know, you're not going to come in my life, my circle, and start changing every goddamn thing, or telling me how I'm supposed to think, or telling me that, hey, I don't like how you talk, and uh, no, you got to go. You're not gonna come in and tell me how I'm supposed to be living my life. Uh, you're not gonna come and tell me when I start telling my story, how I grew up. You're gonna tell me that, hey, that couldn't have happened like that. Get out of here. You know, I've actually met people that got upset because they didn't like some of the stories I was telling. And these stories are based on me being in the Navy, some of it, and how I grew up. People actually got offended because they didn't like the stories I was telling about my history. It's the craziest thing. About some of it pertain to my family history, and even some in my history as an individual. People asked me the questions. I gave them an answer, and they turn around and get upset because they didn't like the story that I was telling. So I'm like, are you crazy? Or I'm crazy, you know? And if you have people around that's like this, you got to get rid of these people. You really have to, you know. And see, in this society, um, how men and women interact between the sexes is really is starting to change drastically. Uh, if you haven't noticed, or maybe you have noticed, you know, um, women don't have to depend on men financially as much as they used to. Just across the board, women are getting much more opportunities than men. You know, they're not getting paid as much as men though. But they're getting more opportunities. They get more jobs. They have. I think women can be a part. I think women can be a part of the country club now. Quote me on that. I'm not. I think I'm right about that. Now, women can get into certain environments that they could have never gotten in 10, 20 years ago. Women don't really have to depend on guys financially as much as they used to. So, a lot of women kind of don't see a lot of guys the same as they used to. Their perception has changed. And with all that, all the opportunities that women are having, women are the most unhappiest that I've ever seen. Women are getting sick. Now they have the job and the cars, the clothes, the house, and the credit cards and the student loan and whatever they want. They go on vacation, hang out with the friends, have sex with how many guys she want, date as many guys she want. But with all that, she's still unhappy. Why do you think that is? That's my question. I mean, if you give them what they want, which they're, they women are pretty much women have more opportunities today than ever since the United States came about. Women are getting out the house, they're taking trips. They they can speak out now without very little consequences compared to like 20, 40, 50 years ago. And they're still not happy. They're getting sick, high blood pressure. Well, something's going on. Something ain't right. What has happened to women in America? What it seems like from I guess you could say on the surface that women are winning. But I don't think that's really the case, because you can say a lot of guys will say, hey man, they got the laws on their side, the court system is biased, women are running schemes and scams, they're hustling guys, with the kids, child support, which is true. There's a lot of that going on. But that's really a short term. That's really a short term hustle. Women they mature faster. They have a good start. But like I always say, we catch up and we last longer. Because a lot of these women are not, they can't even make it to 40 without getting sick today. A lot of these women are dying early. They're not living long as much as they used to. And they're on the clock. We're not. See, the worst thing that could happen to a woman is for her to get divorced in the 40s and 50s. Because if you really think about it, I know very few women that get divorced in the 40s and 50s that get married again. Most guys, they're not trying to rock with them women like that. They got most of these women that get divorced, they have kids. It's in the 40s and 50s. So there's a good chance she's gonna die single. Because some guys just not rocking with her like that. So, but us guys, on the other hand, we can go, you can be 40, 50, 60, you still can pull them. You still pull a 7 or 8 or 9. Because what happens is a lot of these women, young, old, whatever, don't matter what age, they're over here basically fighting over resources. So whenever you see an old man with a young girl, I mean, you can say, hey, she's with the old man because she's with that old wrinkled old man, sugar daddy. You can say what you want, but the point is, he can still pull them. That's the point. If you flip that to the women's side of the game, look at the women's situation. A lot of these women, they can't even pull them. Guys aren't checking for them like that. At best, they're gonna get is a booty call. A lot of these guys aren't spending time around these older women like that, unless he's desperate or he just don't got the confidence that he can do better. But any guy that got his shit together and he's in his 40s and 50s and 60s, he's trying to get the baddest chick. 30, early 30s, then he can have a kid. I mean, as long as you can rise to the occasion, you good if you're a man. Really. If you're still in shape, maybe you work out, you don't eat like a swine or pig, you take care of yourself pretty decent, you exercise, you're active, we can go for a long time. But women, on the other hand, no. Most of them don't take care of them. Most of them don't take care of themselves like that. They're overweight, especially here in America. So I think a lot of women choose a career over everything. Career over everything. And that's a mistake. Because it used to be all about family when I was growing up. I'm not saying that some people aren't like that. There's always exception to the rule. But if you look at a lot of these people in these big cities across America, most of these women, I think this is most people in general, they don't care about no family. Now, in small towns, okay, that's a little different. That's a different way of living in the small towns. Because in the small towns, a lot of women have to kind of depend on guys financially. Because it's small town USA, that's completely different. Because in the small towns, they don't have a lot of they don't have as much opportunities for the common man and common woman compared to living in the big city. That's just on average. That's not saying that every town is alike. Of course not. That's not saying everyone has the same opportunities in the small towns. Of course not. But I'm saying if you compare, there's a reason why people flock to big cities. Because there's more jobs in the big cities. There's more opportunities in the big cities compared to the small towns. Even though there's a give and take moving to the big cities because it's usually overcrowded, oversaturated. You know? So in the smaller towns, women kind of have to depend on guys, on the average guy financially, you know, unless they find their own way. But that doesn't happen a lot in these small towns. In small towns, people kind of have to, they're forced to work together. And that's how it was when I was growing up. But when you have these big mega towns started shooting up and started expanding, that's when things started to change financially for women. And a lot of that had to do with feminism and economics, and the media and the environment. So, hey, man, it is what it is. But with all that, women are still unhappy. They give them everything they want. Got women's rights. Got all the rights. Almost. They just give them enough rights so they can sit down and shut up, basically. That's basically what they spoon feed them. Well, bird feed them. Man, hit the like button. Yeah. I felt the need to talk about this because I get questions like this from time to time from guys. They want to know my perspective on women, how I see women functioning in society, what I think about what women say, some of the comments that they make. It's like, let's take what women say with a grain of salt, really. I don't take it that serious. I look at it like this. If a woman can stop me from doing something, that's when she'll get my attention. But that's not the case. Yeah, you give a woman everything she wants, damn near, and she's still unhappy. No, of course, not all women. Yeah, I know some women, they don't have a problem with guys at all. I know some women don't have a problem with guys. They don't. They want to be. They love being married. They like the man being head of the household. I know a lot of women that they don't want to pay all them damn bills and be by themselves, lonely. What up, man? Yeah, I know a lot of women that actually told me that stuff that a lot of women be saying. They say them bitches is crazy. A lot of women say, man, I don't want to be myself with a house, a mortgage, and car payment, and insurance, and kids. A lot of women say, man, hell with all that. Them bitches is crazy. And then they start saying stuff like, hey, we can be in a relationship with women now. We can be bisexual. I know a lot of women that say stuff like, I ain't trying to be in a relationship with no woman. Bitch, you crazy. Then I know some women will say, hey, ain't nothing. They say, I might fool around with a woman every blue moon, but I ain't trying to be in a relationship with her. Women are too crazy, too damn emotional. Hell no. So yeah, a lot of women ain't down to all this craziness that you hear a lot of these women talking about online and within the media. A lot of women said, hell no. They said, I've had women tell me personally, said, man, I gotta have me some dick. I ain't a lot of women ain't down all that shenanigans. That as much as y'all think, man. What up, DMR? I think women don't like to make decisions, so you have to make the decision for them. Nah, they don't like to make decisions. They don't. It's hard for a lot of women to make decisions. They really don't. I'm good, man. I'm feeling good. Why am I going to get to the point when they say, I would just take the guy with a job and a car? Beautiful women even say that. Oh, because by the time they get to that point, a lot of them are tired. They probably been ran through or have some type of bad experience. So they're not so much picky anymore because they done learned their damn lesson. That's what that type of talk is about. They done learn their lesson. They're not dreaming no more. Once they start talking like that. That's all that is. That's all that is, though. So you got to think about a lot of women that's in the 20s and 30s. They still dreaming. They still got that pipe dream going on. They still in that fantasy world. They still reading them novels. They still looking for that perfect guy. You know that, you know how they say it, that my knight in shining armor. They're looking for that guy that's gonna come down out of the sky like Superman, swoop down and pick him up, and put her in the car and drive off in the sunset, and they'll live happily ever after. A lot of women in the 20s and 30s are still looking for that guy. And by that time they have a kid or get married or in divorce, whichever comes first, or have some tragic experience that they go through. And now they're 40, 50, and then they realize that most of that stuff that they've been told is a crock of bullshit. So that's when they be like, I just want a guy that with a job and a car. That's all I need, man. I don't need all the extra stuff like going on a vacation. What kind of job he got? He got to have a real good job or a big bank account, So them expectations usually go downhill because in the 40s and 50s, they're not getting as much attention as they used to get when they were younger anyway. So that's where that comes from. You're in Brazil? You're in Brazil, man. What's going on in Brazil, man? I got to get down to Brazil, man. Huh? Brazil in the house. What's going down in Brazil, man? It's hot in Brazil. Looking at girls from my high school, because 20-year reunion coming up, a lot of them fell on hard times in the looks. Oh, yeah. When you go to your family reunion, a lot of them going to be fat and overweight. And they're going to look rough. And the ones that the hottest chicks that had it going on when you was in high school, they ain't got it like that now. You're gonna be like, oh, holy shit. And if you couldn't get the phone number back then, they'll offer you the phone number this time. I threw that shit in the trash can. Yeah, that family reunion shit, boy, is hilarious. It's hilarious, man. I'm not going back again. I went one time since I got out of high school. It's hilarious, man. A lot of them gonna be sick, fat, overweight. You know, a lot of them you're not going to be realize who some of them are. Yeah, some of them got a bunch of kids, some of them married and divorced, and some of them they ain't never got married. They just had a bunch of kids. You know, some of them you're gonna be like, "Is that you?" You got to do a double take. Yeah, man. They're probably looking for someone to rub those broad dents out of their shoulders now. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, man, that class reunion, boy. Well, that's rough. You know, I'm telling you, man. I mean, there's some people, man. I didn't even know who they was, man. And you don't want to say you don't know who they are because you don't want to embarrass them. And then you look real good, and then you be like, "Oh, that's her. Oh man, she weighed 300 pounds, man. God damn, man." You know, it's crazy, man. How time flies and people go through so many changes in their lives. It's really crazy, man. Yeah, it's really crazy. You know, and the high school that I used to go to, they're not even open no more. They closed down. So, you know, you know, that really made me not want to go back to a high school reunion. So many things have changed where I'm from. High school changed. Whole town is being revamped, pretty much. Really, you know, it's wild, man. Really wild. Well, hit the like button, everybody. I'm about to get it out of here. Get out. Get out. Get out of here. Still debating on whether to go or keep hustling towards an entrepreneurship. Yeah. Well, really, man, Black, still, I don't really see it like as a choice. Really, I don't. I think one income, man, is a recipe for a disaster. I just never. I just never. I never could make enough money from a job to live the way I wanted to live. And I just never trust anybody, any corporation. I just never trusted a corporation like that for my livelihood. I just never, I was never, when I was 19 years old, I knew that I was 19 working for Time Warner Cable. And I knew that I wasn't going to, I was going to have to transition out of this. his workforce eventually. I didn't know when, but I knew I was going to have to find something else. Because I just knew, I said, there ain't no way I'm going to make it to 65, 62, 65. There's no way. Not going through all these hoops and hurdles and chaos and mistreatment. There's no way. You know, I'm not made like that. I can't sustain in an environment like that where I'm being mistreated and talked to any kind of way and being tolerated. And then when it's time for you to get, supposedly get promoted for a raise, they say you don't deserve a raise. All that type of jazz. I said, oh no, I can't do this. I rather I'll start something on the side and I'll keep doing it forever. That was my attitude. I'll figure it out. If I have to go to conferences all across the country or in my hometown or whoever I have to meet, I'm going to have to figure this shit out. And that's what I said 14 years ago. Yeah. So basically, 14 years ago, basically, I can't. So I see it as, I'm not going to be dependent on one stream of income, period. Never. I just, but that's just me. That's my perception at the time, Yeah, the butt kissing is real. It's always been like that. The butt kissing ain't just started. I seen people kissing people's ass at Bank of America 2005. I seen, and then, it's nothing new. It's been going on. I worked at Bank of America for 10 years. So I just don't know. I don't know how people put up with all that abuse. I just don't know how do they sustain themselves in that environment and don't get no raise, don't get promoted, really. So I'm like, you're just stagnant. You do the same shit every day. You've been doing the same shit every day for the past 10, 15 years. I'm like, what are you doing? You think you're going to make it to get a pension? You ain't going to make it. They'll get rid of your ass. So it's crazy, man. I mean, if you really think about this is why a lot of people are so stressed when they get home from these corporate jobs. Because all that ass kissing they've been doing all day. And then, they don't do a lot of work in these offices. They don't do a lot of work. It's just all the ass kissing that happens. And all the laughing and perpetrating the fraud and putting on a good face. That shit takes a lot of energy out of people. And then you got women that they'll sleep with almost anybody to get promoted. Sleep with the boss, sleep with the supervisor. And all these company people, they hang out together. They take trips together, have company outings together. They'll go out of town together. It might be a group of people go out of town together. The boss's secretary, she'll travel with the boss, and he's smashing her in the hotel room when they get out of town. So it's that type of thing going on because the boss, the office is his playground. He hires everybody that he thinks that he would possibly have the opportunity to smash, one day. Yeah, complexion for the connection. Yep. Had a woman as a manager, and I can tell she wanted me fired because I wasn't kissing her behind. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes if you don't kiss ass, you become a problem. And you know what's crazy? Sometimes if you don't have sex with the manager, and if she's a woman, you become a problem too. It could go either way. It really could go either way. They say it's not personal, it's business. But that's not true. It's always personal. Because if that was the case, they wouldn't go hang out with each other outside the office. These people taking trips together outside the office. They work with each other 5 days a week, and then they have company outings together. Then they'll take trips together. So if it wasn't personal, they would never spend that much time together. So it's just a game. I mean, they're not even playing the game right. They're not even smart about it. It's hilarious. Sometimes I just laugh. But I learned a long time ago, the corporate environment, that wasn't for me. Early in my 20s, I said, no, there's no way in hell I'll survive in here. But you got to think about it. Somebody like me, I traveled all around the world, and I met people from all walks of life. And now I got to come back in this environment and be around people that really haven't been anywhere. So what are they going to say to me? I mean, it's not like I go around talking to people about my experiences and anything like that. But in just talking to people, I mean, most of these people haven't left the state. If they did leave, they go 2 states over or something like that. And so it's like, I can't relate to none of these people. The only people that I could relate to were the people that have traveled or people that were ex-military. But other than that, it's like, we don't have much to talk about. We don't have nothing in common. We're not from the same place. We didn't grow up together. So the only thing, no, really. That's my experience. The only thing I could do that I wasn't willing to do is kiss ass. Hit the like button. Give me a thumbs up. Oh, shit. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. This is my experiences, man. My experiences are unique. This doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen, not even the majority of people, which is, it's fine. Nothing to brag about, Yeah. 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 But hey, I'm about to get out of here. So hey, if you like this video, share it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Check out my brand new website, badboysecretsclub.com. Go over there and get that game, and check out my Patreon as well. Till next time I'm out. Peace. It's your turn. Oh, no.